Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Roundabout Brewing Company out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This beer is just called Northwest IPA. I don't know where that name came from. I guess it's because the hops in it are from the northwest of the U.S. I'm assuming. I don't think it's like a specific clone of any Northwest Breweries IPA or anything like that. Um, but this is made with Citra, Amarillo, and Cascade. And I know Cascade and Citra are definitely Northwest hops. I'm assuming Amarillo is too, and it's not from Amarillo, Texas, but I still don't know that for sure. And it is 6.3 ABV. I have not had this yet. That's the only thing I know about it, so I'm excited to crack it open and see what we got. So it's definitely a little cloudier than most of their beers are. Most of their IPAs are. Um, so they're not. They don't strictly make like crystal clean West Coast IPAs, but they don't intentionally make like really hazy ones either. It's kind of just like an unfiltered beer, so it's like cloudy, but not like what most people would call hazy. This is definitely closer to what I would just consider as hazy. It's a nice, like darker peach to rusty orange color with about a finger's worth of really fluffy white head. So the first thing I noticed is it does have a little bit of that like sweaty mosaic character, which is interesting, even though that's not in this. There's a little bit of a lemon limey character and also some like cat box aroma. I do get a little bit of caramelly malt, and also it does come off like a little boozy too, which is interesting. Since it's only 6.3, I don't know. We'll see. So you definitely get the earthiness of the Amarillo and the Cascade. I kind of wish that the Citra was a little more abundant. Um, it does have a little bit of a good bit of sweetness in the back end actually, but it's not just like general sweetness. It is a little caramely. But it is very like earthy and herbal, which is, you know, a staple of Amarillo and Cascade. So it is nicely balanced. It's not super bitter. Those flavors are pretty bright, but like I said, it is a little caramely and has a little back end sweetness. Uh, this is one of those ones where I struggle to give it a rating. I know I try to be as hedonistic as possible because I think that's only the true way to rate something. You shouldn't be. I mean, if you're rating it to style, but if you're saying, well, I don't normally like this style, but it's good for the style, it's like, well, if you don't like it, who are you to judge? That's kind of things that go through my head, but. I think this is pretty well made for what it is. I'm just not the biggest fan of the Amarillo Cascade hop profile. Um, but I do still think it's pretty drinkable. So I'm definitely not like dump is out of the question. I'm not even considering that. It's a very well made beer. I'm just considering between buy and drink, or yeah, buy and drink. You know what? I'm gonna call this one a buy. There's something, even though it's not my favorite hop profile, it's very well done, and there's something a little this that's hitting me with nostalgia. To be perfectly honest, um, it's reminding me of Three Floyds a little bit, and there's like they would use Centennial a lot in Columbus back in the day, so that kind of altered the profile a little bit. I know they were big on the Triple C hops, which Cascade was one of them. But I think that Columbus and the Centennial definitely changed it a little bit. And I know, as far as I remember, Gumball Head is like all Amarillo. So this kind of has a character of that as well. Um, so yeah, it's honestly reminding me of the double IPA that Brew Gentleman did with Amarillo. Like, in my opinion, I don't know that you could have done a better single hopped Amarillo double IPA than what they did. But I wasn't one of my favorite IPAs because I don't like Amarillo that much. This is kind of in that same realm. Um, but the fact that it's really well made and it's a little nostalgic for me, I'm gonna say this is a buy because I could see every once in a while wanting to kind of fall back on something like this because it is old school, but it's definitely not like West Coast old school. It really, really reminds me a lot of uh, like a lot of Three Floyds type stuff, and even then thinking of Northwest, it kind of reminds me of some of the Deschutes original hoppy stuff. So I'm gonna give this a buy. I think that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.